Now, live from CW31, this is Good Day Sacramento.
Hi, good day to you. Hi. You guys having a little chat over there?
Just a little personal chat over here. Coming up, we're going to be talking about having the best wedding reception ever. If your wedding is coming up, a lot of them are happening this summer. We're going to give you some tips, just 5 things to think about that'll help you have just a wonderful, relaxing day.
Maybe you can use some ideas, too.
Maybe I'll get some ideas from those, too. You know, the best thing is just to relax and have a little fun, I think.
And by the way, planning a wedding reception is a daunting and maddening task. We're talking about music, food, flowers, just a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, which is why all brides can use just a little professional help. And this morning, author Peter Mary is here. He's put together a guide called The Best Wedding Reception Ever. And I love the color of those dresses. And he's in the studio now. Thanks for coming in.
It's my pleasure.
You said you've been a DJ for a long, long time, and so you've probably seen the best and worst of wedding receptions.
Yes, I have. Yes, I've seen some pretty memorable occasions, and I've seen some that maybe some people would like to forget.
And so it inspired you really to write a book to help women get through this.
I noticed every time I go to the bookstores that there was all kinds of information about decorating weddings and the dresses and the flowers, but nobody was telling brides how to make it fun. You know, and that's a big word that I hear from a lot of couples is they want their guests to enjoy themselves. So I felt like writing a book that would help them make sure they could actually enjoy their wedding would be really helpful.
I was worried about make sure it moved and, you know, was actually interesting, because I've been to so many of them where I was bored.
Right.
I hate to say that.
Well, that comes back to the agenda and the pacing. You know?
Just did,
and I totally understand, because I've heard lots of stories about boring weddings. I haven't actually been to any myself, but I've heard lots of stories about that, and the pacing of it is really controlled by who's directing.
Right.
You know, when you go to a good stage play, there's a director, right? And at a wedding event, it's an entertaining function if you have somebody directing it.
Right.
But if you have somebody who's more of a producer going off of a timeline and saying, we got to hurry up and do this, it could get rushed or it could drag, and it's no longer any fun.
In fact, we picked out just a couple of points from his book today, and we'll get to that one in a second because it kind of comes down here. But the first one is to really pick a good spot and pick it soon.
Well, they say location is very important, and location is not only key for your guests being able to find the location, but it's also key for the layout of the room. Imagine a reception setting where half the guests are seated around a corner, and you're doing the toast and the guests can't see. They're going to feel disconnected to what's happening. So finding a location where everybody feels included can be very important. You also want to find a location that will allow you to create the agenda you want, because some locations will say, here's the way we always do it. Well, that might work for them, but it might not work for you.
And obviously weddings can cost a lot of money, so you want to know from the outset how much you want to spend.
True.
Be prepared for what you're going to have to spend.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's also a good idea, though, to keep in mind what your priorities are. I've done weddings where I've seen brides spend $20,000 on flowers. Their priorities were the flowers. I've seen brides spend $10,000 on a Vera Wang dress. That was a high priority to them. I've also seen weddings where the bride has spent $5,000 or more on their entertainment because they really wanted their guests to have a lot of fun, and so having good entertainment was a really important thing for them.
All right, what about hiring a good DJ? You know, there's so many out there, but you want to get the one that's going to help you out.
Sure.
Good people.
Well, that's probably one of the most important decisions you can make. And one of the questions I would ask is, when you hire a photographer, do you look at their pictures? The same thing is true for an entertainer. You want to see some video footage of them in action. You want to ask them to see what they've actually done. Rather than just having a conversation with them, if you can see video footage of how they perform on stage in front of your guests, you'll have a good idea of how quality-oriented and talented they are for your occasion.
Also, we've done this. We have a plan B just in case of weather, or in case somebody doesn't show up, or, you know, what are you going to do in the event that something goes wrong, which, as I'm told, something pretty much happens.
Right.
Well, John Lennon said life is what happens to you when you're busy making other plans. And when you have an outdoor wedding, for instance, and rain is a possibility, you need to have a plan B ready to step in and make sure that's going to happen correctly.
Okay, and I picked the 5th point here, because I swear, this happens at my wedding. I do not like this. People, please don't mush the cake. Don't let this happen to you.
It's so corny.
Does that man look happy? He does not look. It is, and you worked all day. But you said, speaking of plan B.
Yes.
Right?
Well, speaking of plan B, when it comes to the cake smash, one idea is bring up your best man and maid of honor. Tell them you're posing a photo like from the old 40s photos. And then when you're about to smash cake, smash them instead.
That's a good alternative. You're going to hear.
Thanks very much. The book is called The Best Wedding Reception Ever, Your Guide to Creating an Unforgettable, Fun Celebration. And you can find that in bookstores and online. Love the turquoise dresses. Beautiful.
Thank you, Peter.
There you go. And by the way, the Dream Wedding Show is going on. Peter's going to be there, right?
Yes, I'll be premiering the book to brides for the first time there.
Sunday from 11 to 4 at Cal Expo. Here's a phone number for you for more info, 949-584-5338.
Makes me want to cry.
I know.
I've been married for 6 years and I want to go. Okay.
You can come with me because Scott won't go. I know he won't go. You can be my date.
I'll eat the cake.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks.
Thank you.